With all of the issues happening recently within the comic book industry, you would wonder why anyone would think they need to step up to the pulpit and actually give you some kind of sermon. I mean, if you look at DC Comics lately, for example, that place, it seems to be going through a lot of disarray. In fact, there are rumors about if this doesn't work out, there might be something sold off, so you would think you'd put your best foot forward. In looking at deceased unkillables, however, I thought, yeah, that's not the thing. And I think I want to show you what's going on here. So hey there. So today we are going to return to that wonderful world of comic books. And with this comic book, DC's Unkillables, I want to showcase exactly how zombies go from, well, being zombies to being some kind of political narrative device that really turns you off and turns you off quickly. Now, if you've never heard of Deceased storyline, or probably more aptly, you haven't been keeping up with comics in a while, that's okay. We'll break this down for you. So what this is basically an answer to Marvel Zombies. See, when it came to Marvel Zombies, Marvel had something that no one else had done. They had taken their main characters, they had turned them into something else, and you know what else they did? They actually turned quite the profit. DC, I'm sure, saw that, said, man, you know what we need to do? We need to do exactly what they're doing over there. Let's emulate that somehow. Enter Deceased, which was a 6-issue limited run initially, and you can see the description here. What happens to the world's finest if the world ends, with death spreading across the planet? Who will live and who will turn in this apocalyptic tale of heroism, sacrifice, and annihilation? Fighting time, each other, and all of humanity, Earth's greatest heroes must rally together for what may very well be the last chance to save the world from the most terrible plague humanity has ever seen. The anti-life equation has been released and is ravaging the world at the viral speed of social media. Once exposed, victims lose their mind, violently attacking all around them. The heroes of the earth are fighting a losing battle to save the world and themselves. Now, when it came to Deceased, DC had more than a good story on their hands. They had something that was viable. If you look at the number 1 here, for example, this came out in May 2019, you'll notice something. This leads with dollars and units for the entire month. It comes in at an estimated sale, again, to comic book shops of 242,365 units. I mean, that's quite a bit of money to be making off of one issue. The success with this was not a fluke either. As you can see from the next month, you do have a decline, a substantial one, in fact, when it comes to the units sold, but you still move well over 100,000 units, and considering only 4 comic books within the month actually managed to do that, you have DC understanding, hey, we've got a hit on our hand. Now, this license to print money, if you will, went beyond the 6-issue limited series, as you can see with this, Deceased, A Good Day to Die. This, as a one-shot, moves 90,000 units. It actually comes in at unit sales at number 9 for the month. It actually comes in with dollars at a number 10. So, again, you have DC thinking, man, we've got this. We'll keep pumping out stuff. And that's how we arrive at DC's Unkillables. So, DC Unkillable number 1. It sounds quite interesting to me. And when I say interesting, I mean, hey, you want to spend $5 to check this out. So the blockbuster DC series returns to answer this question. What did the villains do when the heroes failed and the world ended? Spinning out of the dramatic events of 2019's smash hit, writer Tom Taylor returns to the dark world with street-level tale of death, heroism, and redemption. Now, one of the warning signs about this stuff right off the bat is Tom Taylor being included. I mean, Tom Taylor has had a lot to say on the front with DC Comics, and one of those things he said is basically, those people over there, we don't want them as consumers. He's gone out too, while doing this kind of stuff, and played the victim time and again. It's been absolutely insane to watch this stuff, watch the things that these people spread, considering the fact that, well, you see the dire disarray that DC Comics is in. Now, Tom Taylor has been very hit or miss about keeping this stuff off the pages. If you look at his Marvel creations, for example, where he's allowed to go out and do this all the time, yeah, X-Men Red, he could not keep that stuff out of that. And you know what happens? X-Men Red, eventually, it's going to get canceled. DC, however, has been a different type of beast, and they try sometimes sometimes anyhow, to keep these things out of the pages. But would they this time? Short answer, of course not. So you can see the first page where it starts out, and of course it's because it makes easy ammunition. Kentucky, day one of the anti-life equation. You notice they never apply these terrible things that they want to say to a place like New York, because of course, flyover states, you got to give them a specific type of finger. So Deathstroke, he didn't like Kentucky, but $9 million was $9 million. Now you look at this, he's pulling up to this dilapidated mansion, and I'm sure that you're going to sermonize. You can already feel that kind of saying right in the air. Some B set fire to a few churches. Yep, of course it's going to be that type of thing. And someone in those churches clearly didn't believe in turning the other cheek. So of course you have a place in Kentucky. You have people out there that are going to be setting fire to churches. I wonder what type of people they'll be. You see him ring the doorbell here because he's been hired, to pay them a visit. And well, here comes one crashing out a window because, this is when things get weird. Now, you know right away that this is going to be one of those cringy comic books because you can see, the guy, not only is he a certain shade of pale, which allows you to get away with this type of quote-unquote criticism, but you can see from haircut and on what kind of message that this is going to have. When they have him running away too, you can see that he has power stamped across his back. Again, haircut and on, got a skinhead. Everything about this is not only stereotype, but it's Tom Taylor saying, look at me, I'm so cool. So he says, Slade Wilson was used to seeing people run, but he hadn't seen a lot of people keep trying to run on clearly shattered legs. I wonder what kind of people. So you see this guy here too. You see his tattoo across that. Now, you know what they want to put on his head, but they can't. They can't get away with that these days because even if they take their criticism to that level, they will be eaten up by their friendlies out there. Now, of course, you can't run from everything. Bam. So here we go. And you see the rest of them. And look at the way that they're decorated here. See what kind of hats. See what kind of shirts here. See that they put this cross on there. You notice the wording. Like I said, this is typical sermonizing from someone like Tom Taylor, and it is beyond cringy. Usually, at least one of these types was overconfident and stupid enough to take Slade on. That's when he realized he wasn't the one that they were running from. There. A house full of, you see that word there? You see this editing there? Zombies. The worst of the undead combined with the worst of the living. So if you look at this, again, look at the background here. And you know what's telling to me? The only people that are applying this type of graffiti to homes or anything these days are these folks in their minds. They're the ones applying this type of label. They're the ones that are making this normalized. They're the ones that are creating hate groups. I think that says plenty. Now, again, you see the decor here. I think that, again, it is so cringy. And these are the first few pages of something that is supposed to make me want to buy in. Now, what's absolutely fascinating about this is that these folks, they spend all of their time drawing stuff like this. Does that say something about them? They found a way to do violence unto others, to basically live out their own morose fantasies, because they can say, oh man, you know what I like to punch? I like to punch people like that. So when you see them talking about people online, giving you that type of lecture, you see exactly what they're thinking there over and over again. Now from there, we get into storyline and on, but again, this was the best foot forward. This is what's supposed to sell you comics, and now, and that's Tom Taylor telling you, the soapbox is mine. No matter how many people get fired, nobody's ever going to take this away from me. So anyway, seeing this, I'm curious, would you want to buy that? Because I did end up getting issue 1, and you know what? I won't get issue 2 because I just don't care. Honestly, if I wanted to be sermonized, I would sit around and listen to people on Twitter, and that stuff, it's free. It doesn't cost me $5 a pop. But anyway, you tell me what you think. think. Ending this, too, I want to say very briefly, I appreciate you showing up and making this stuff possible. People like this, they've forgotten their audience, and woe be it unto them. That's why they fail continually. I don't want to be them, so if you want to help out with the channel, that's great, but you just showing up, that matters. I don't want to monopolize your time any further. Just wanted to say thank you. I do appreciate you, and we'll be doing this again soon. Thanks.